So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you all. Let's see, I should do it. This is our topic for the day, LinkedIn lead gen for service companies. And we are going to be going through pretty high level concepts, but also the detailed steps of exactly how to run a program for your business that will reliably generate leads for you and hopefully connect the dots to sales conversations with those leads. I think I'm just going to go ahead and get started. And anybody that joins, they'll be able to pick up hopefully pretty quickly. And I will have a recording for this. So thank you all for joining. So excited to have you here. This is the first webinar of the year for me. This is a new presentation that I'm sharing. And I hope that you all get some great ideas from it and can start putting some of these ideas to work in your business. So I'm just going to jump right in here. So why are we talking about LinkedIn lead generation? Most likely this is because, you have a goal of generating more revenue in your company this year. And to do that, you need more customers, obviously. And the best way to get new customers really is to hopefully find people who actually want to talk with you about your services. So ideally, we're talking about marketing strategies that really make sales easier. There's a lot of different options for you whenever it comes to growing your business and creating awareness of your services and prospecting. So this is just one strategy in particular that I think really helps make it easier for you to generate conversations and generate new opportunities for your business. And here's a little bit of a reason why I think that this is an effective way of going about this. This is what I call a growth flywheel. It's a very rudimentary graphic of how this system works. So ideally, the strategies that we're implementing are building momentum over time. So as we implement the activities that we're doing and the investments that we're making in marketing, more people are coming into our flywheel. And as that flywheel builds more momentum and grows, we're able to extract more value from it. And we're able to convert the investment that we've put into it into outputs in the form of sales and revenue. And the way that this works for us is we have cold audiences that we're targeting, and we have people that are also coming into the flywheel who are searching for information and guidance for problems that they're experiencing. What we're really focused on today is the cold audience targeting aspect of it and feeding in that cold audience into this flywheel so that we're creating awareness of our services, we're nurturing those leads and building up some trust with those people. Re-engaging them as, hopefully the timing becomes more appropriate for them. We're able to start conversations with them built on the trust that we've created with them and the awareness and the top of mind recognition that we've created. So what are you going to get from this today? We're going to walk through specifically how to choose topics that your ideal customers will actually sign up for, how to create lead generation campaigns using LinkedIn, how to connect platforms and streamline the customer experience across those different tools that are required, and how to follow up with leads and book appointments with them, building up our flywheel. So why LinkedIn though? Why are we focused on LinkedIn? Is it just because I think it's a great platform? I use it more. I have a lot of people that tell me, I want to advertise on X because that's the platform that I'm on. No, that's not why we're focused on LinkedIn, mainly just because the targeting on LinkedIn is unmatched when it comes to B2B cold audiences. There's really no other platform that allows us to target people based on company firmographics and persona attributes as well as LinkedIn. Why? Because people are associating their companies and the data associated with their company as well as their functions and job titles with their profile on LinkedIn, which allows us to target them. We're going to talk about all the different types of audience targeting available to us in this presentation. So I'm going to walk you through some different ways that you can reach your target audience most effectively. But this is why LinkedIn is so valuable and so unique, particularly for B2B services. And then another point there is that we have in-feed forms. So we're able to streamline the customer journey, make it really easy for our prospects to sign up for things that we're promoting without having to take them out of the experience, out of the platform to a landing page. And the other aspect that we're going to cover today is it's a little bit catered more towards webinars. And there's a reason behind that as well. Especially for smaller companies that are looking to maximize the return on their investment for marketing, I think webinars have a unique opportunity to help accelerate the sales cycle. So with webinars, we're able to build trust immediately with prospects, because here we are, you can look me in the eyes, you can hear me talking about something that, probably relates to a problem that you're experiencing maybe. And it just builds trust a lot quicker. So it helps you just stand out and differentiate in a crowded market in a way that, more static or written content and different other or different lead gen customer journeys might do. Also, something really unique about webinars that I love is that contacts give you permission to follow up with them and to send reminders. So just a unique aspect, whenever you sign up for a webinar, you kind of have an expectation that you're going to receive some communication about the event. So that gives you an opportunity to sort of talk about your services a little bit and find ways to kind of tee up your credibility and provide a little bit more context for the event that people signed up for. And finally, you can directly connect your service offering to the topic that you're presenting about. So your customers are experiencing problems. We're going to talk about choosing topics here really shortly, but it makes a really nice transition to how your services can help them solve the problems that they're clearly looking for guidance on. So webinars, I think, have a unique opportunity and have a valuable place, particularly for low budget, short timelines that you need to generate sales in. Okay, so what do you need to be successful? You need a topic your customers care about. You need a LinkedIn ads account. You need an understanding of how LinkedIn ads works. You need some webinar software, some email software, and you need to be able to connect the experience together. And we're going to walk through exactly how to do this. So my hope is after this, you have a pretty good idea of how you can go out and try this for yourself and experience the benefit of running your first campaign, or maybe, getting better results if you've already tried running some campaigns. And I do just want to, share a recent example of this in action. One of my clients is an accounting firm. And I like this example because it really kind of showcases you don't really have to have, the most thought-provoking topic to be able to get people to sign up for your webinars. They just need to be topics that are helping people solve real problems. Again, we're going to talk about topic selection. But in this example, this is an accounting firm on the West Coast. They put $1,500 towards promoting a webinar. That's the minimum budget you should ever be able to spend to be able to get new clients. And they got 38 signups. So they were getting people to sign up for the webinar at $39 per signup. These are people that they targeted that are a good fit for their company. So they're pre-qualified, essentially. They had a 35% show rate. They had 3 consulting offers come off the back of the webinar, and they were able to close 1 client. So, if you extrapolate this type of model, you can see how very quickly you're able to generate a lot of interest with customers who are probably in market or may be in market soon for services that you offer. And just a quick overview here of, you might be wondering, who the heck am I? Why am I talking to you about this? So I'm the founder of Context. Context is a small boutique agency that's really focused on helping B2B service companies find strategies that are scalable and sort of foundational and help you really get things in place that can just grow with your company. So there's, like I mentioned, just a lot of different options out there for how you can invest in your marketing. We want to help people really make an impact with foundational strategies like this. And my background is I've been in marketing and digital marketing for over 12 years. I've led and supported marketing for all different industries, B2B consulting, professional services, brick and mortar, and e-commerce. I've helped run promotions for McDonald's. I led the growth of an e-commerce company, leveraging digital marketing strategies, direct response in particular, to a 4x return. I've helped over 300 small businesses install social media ads and digital marketing strategies in their businesses. And I've helped lead marketing for a consulting firm targeting Fortune 500 companies. So I kind of have a lot of experience across the board with different types of problems and experiences for customers. And this is sort of my way of sharing some of that information, hopefully with small businesses that can get a lot of value out of that. So let's get into it. Enough setup. I want to share with you specifically how you can set this strategy up for your business. So we're going to go through step by step how to do that. Step one, how to select topics your prospects will actually sign up for. This is very, very important because at the end of the day, whenever you're spending advertising dollars, it's going to come down to unit metrics. You're going to be able to see how much each lead costs. And based on the cost per lead is, going to directly tie to how much you can get out of your limited budget. So if we're going to spend $2,000 on an ad campaign, there's a big difference in a $200 cost per lead or a $10 cost per lead. That's going to directly impact how many people we're able to get. This may seem obvious, but the fastest way to impact that is going to be in the topic selection, the actual promotion, the offer. This is going to have the most impact on these unit metrics for your ad budget. So it's important to get those right. So we are going to talk about specifically how to go through and choose topics that are ideally a high priority near-term issue. That's going to help you align what you're promoting to things that people that you're targeting actually care about, so that they're willing to take that step and sign up for your content, and you're not just wasting ad budget. I will talk a little bit though about longer term sales or longer sales cycles and how a higher cost per lead can still work. But in this case, we're really looking for how do we maximize the number of people that sign up for our limited budget. So here's an example, another example with that accounting firm. And excuse me, I'm going to take a quick drink here. Another example with an accounting firm, again showing this content doesn't have to be, mind-blowing. It can be pretty straightforward, but there's a process for understanding how to select topics that are interesting for your audience. So in this case, this firm was looking to target private medical practice owners for bookkeeping services specifically. And the process that we went through is identify what that audience cares about, then discuss what gets in the way of them getting that, identify the knowledge and skills gap that are preventing them from achieving what they want to, and then tie that all to your relevant services. So define your audience. Who are they? What do they care about? What gets in the way? And then is what we're going to talk about here specifically is this idea of a problem waterfall list. Then we're going to identify gaps and overlaps so that we can identify how to help them overcome their barriers. And then we're going to look for kind of the right altitude to make sure that the audience is broad enough and not just too narrow that it won't work for an advertising audience. So here's an example of what I call a problem waterfall list. So as you might start with a problem as broad as, my target audience wants to grow their company, kind of using our webinar here as an example. I want to grow my company. Pretty broad topic, kind of generic. So whenever you start to ask questions about the problems that someone's experiencing, it's going to get more and more narrow as you answer that question. So let's say you want to help somebody grow their company, and they identify their problem is that they need to generate leads. So we go to the next level. They want to know how to generate leads. The next step of that is probably something along the lines of, okay, I need leads to sign up. So I need to know how to create a landing page. Well, the next step might be I need to get people to that landing page. So I need to know how to run LinkedIn ads. So you can see how the problems waterfall into new problems as one problem is identified or a solution is identified for the first problem. if that makes sense. So in this case, we might come down to the right altitude of people, understand that they, need a landing page, they need to generate leads, and that could be, a growth strategy for them, but they don't know how to run LinkedIn ads. So we're going to choose the altitude of a topic. I don't know how to run LinkedIn ads. We're going to create our topic, how to generate leads with LinkedIn ads. This process will work for any type of business at any different altitude. This will work for targeting CEOs at Fortune 500 companies. It's just a matter of trying to find the high priority near-term problems that people are experiencing and going through this process and just brainstorming what are things that people really care about and how can we help them overcome those barriers. So hopefully that helps a little bit, helps just start getting some ideas going for topics that you might feel are worth investing in. Next, we just need to create an ad account. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but I did want to cover it. So you just go into your LinkedIn ad account. You're going to make sure that you have a business profile and you need a payment method file, and boom, you're all set. You have an ad account in LinkedIn. You're able to now set up an ad campaign and do the following, which we're going to talk about, which is how to set up your ad campaign. So there's a couple different things that we need to walk through for that. The different types of campaigns available to you. We're going to talk about one specifically for LinkedIn ads, for lead generation. And as you can see, I'm showing an ad here that probably looks familiar to you. Most of the people that signed up for this webinar came across this ad, clicked it, and signed up. So I just want to kind of highlight that this does work effectively, and it probably hits home with you because this is the exact ad that actually worked on getting you to sign up for this webinar. So next, we're going to talk about budgeting. We're going to talk about creating audiences. We're going to talk about copy and graphics for your ad campaign and creating lead forms. So by the end of this, you'll know exactly how to create an ad campaign that will generate leads and get people to sign up for whatever you're promoting. But in this case, it's a webinar. So real quick overview, LinkedIn ads, if you're not familiar, whenever you get into the campaign manager, so cool, you created your ad account, and you go in here, and there's 3 different levels of your ads. There's campaign groups, campaigns, and ads. Campaign groups are just a grouping of the different ad campaigns that you're running. So that's really just an organizational tool for the most part. Campaigns at the campaign level is where you're able to choose your audience that you're targeting. So that's important. Campaigns are audience. It's your budget, your timeline, and your objective for your campaign. So that's where you're really setting up what is this ad campaign supposed to achieve, and how are we telling LinkedIn the criteria and information that we want it to use to go out and promote whatever it is that we're promoting. And then ads are where you're going to enter your creative, and it's also where you're going to set up your forms. So campaigns and ads are where we're really going to focus our attention here. And I'm going to walk you through every step. So whenever you get started, the first thing you need to do at the campaign level is to choose a campaign objective. And there's a lot of different objectives in LinkedIn that are available to you. We're going to focus on one. You need to select lead generation if you want to open the capability to use LinkedIn lead forms. Lead forms are what you see on the screen here. They're a form that after you click the ad, they show up in the news feed in LinkedIn. And the really nice thing about it is that it autofills your information, your contact information, because it pulls it in from your profile. So this is a very streamlined customer experience that eliminates a lot of friction that you might have if you were, trying to create a landing page that has a lot more information on it, pulls people out of LinkedIn, gives them a lot of things that they need to kind of think about before making a decision about whether they want to sign up. This streamlines the whole process. It makes it very easy. They have the information from the ad that you put in your ad copy. They open the form and they're able to just click submit. Boom, they're registered for your webinar. So in order to do that, you need to select the lead generation campaign objective. Okay. Next up is budgeting. So in your campaign, the next thing you're going to want to do is set up your budget and your objective. I'm just going to be very direct and clear with everybody that the best way to run your ad campaign, especially if you're someone new to this, is to use a lifetime budget. So you created your campaign, you set your objective, you're going to go down, select lifetime budget, particularly if you're promoting something like a webinar that has a specific date that it ends on. You select the end date, and then LinkedIn automatically budgets out your campaign and just runs it at an even distribution up until that end date. So it makes it very, very, very easy on you to manage an advertising budget. You really don't have to think about it that much. And then you can see down below, there's a bidding strategy. You just want to set your optimization goal for, in this case, leads, because that's what we're trying to generate is leads, and set your bidding strategy to maximum. So LinkedIn does all the heavy lifting here for us. We tell it our budget, we tell it when the campaign ends, we tell it that we're trying to generate leads through our lead form, and we tell it that all we want it to do is maximize how many leads we get. And it's going to automatically distribute our ads based on that setup and criteria. So cool, now your budget's set. Next, in the campaign still is that we need to select our audience. And there are 4 different types of audiences in LinkedIn. I'm going to try and make this as easy as possible. So this is a very, very important part of your ad campaign, choosing who you want to spend your ad budget on, choosing who you think is a good fit for whatever you're promoting to maximize the ROI on that investment. So we have 4 different types of audiences. We have lists. So we're able to actually just upload a list of contacts to LinkedIn. Those can be prospects from a certain industry that you're targeting. They can be from your email list. Maybe you already have an email list built up. You can upload their contact information into LinkedIn. And what LinkedIn will do is take their contact information and match it with their LinkedIn profile information and create an audience. So you can target them directly. This is a great way to ensure that every single dollar of your advertising budget is just spent on people with, let's say, job titles that are a good fit for you at companies that meet your company criteria. So just a really effective way to advertise that's really not available on any other platform. And then we have platform attributes. And I think I have slides on these actually. Okay, so sorry. For your list audience, I want to tell you exactly how you can do this as well. So let's say you know your industries, the types of companies, so company size, let's say, you know that in this case, I have an example here of, companies that have 3 to 30 employees that I probably have some revenue on here. Let's say, 5 million to 10 million in revenue, and people with job titles at those companies of head of marketing, head of sales, et cetera. In this platform, it's called Apollo.io. You can build these lists. And this is just a little hack for you. If you want to create one of these first-party contact lists to use as an audience in LinkedIn, you can find people that specialize in getting contact information off of Apollo for you. I don't know their processes, and I'm not necessarily recommending that that's something that is something that I do, but there are people that specialize in this, and you can get contact lists of people that are ICPs for your company through this way. Go to Apollo, create a list, go to Fiverr, find people that specialize in scraping lists, give them your list, and they'll give you the contact information so that you can go back to LinkedIn and create an audience of people that are specifically good for your promotion. Hopefully that wasn't too complex. So that's first party list. Next is platform attributes. So in LinkedIn, you have the same capabilities here to target people with job titles at companies and industries and company size and all the different criteria that you may want to use to create your audience. There's another great option. I like to combine list with platform attributes, but you have this capability, which is great. Next up is retargeting. So you can create an audience of people that already took some specific action that you identify and identify them as a beneficial audience for you. So let's say they opened one of your lead forms. You can create an audience for that. They opened the lead form, but they didn't finish it. We want to put them into a separate audience and just say, these people, have some sort of interest in what we're promoting. Let's continue to make sure that they see our ad. So you can separate people that way. You can separate people in a website retargeting audience. So people that visited your website or a specific page on your website. Lots of different ways that you can build these retargeting audiences that are very valuable just to ensure that you keep, staying in front of those people. And finally, there's another audience type called predictive, which is very, very beneficial, where LinkedIn is actually going to create an audience of people for you that share characteristics of a different audience. So let's say you have your first party audience. So you built that list, and let's say there's only 300 people on it. So 300 people that we think are a good fit. They work at specific types of companies that we think are a good fit for us, and job titles that we want to be in front of. But 300 people isn't that big of a list. So we can just give LinkedIn that list and go to predictive audiences and tell them, make a bigger audience for me of people that are similar. So another really valuable tool that LinkedIn offers. Those are the 4 different types of audiences. And I think using a combination of all 4 is your best bet. You can get more strategic with retargeting audiences in particular, but I just wanted to give an overview of what's available to you. And honestly, going in and just setting up your platform attributes audience is really easy, and will get you headed in the right direction. Okay, so next up, you need to create the creative for your ads. So you need to create awareness of whatever you're promoting, and this can be easy to overthink. You can, want to think of the perfect way to talk about your webinar or whatever it is you're promoting. And I just wanted to show you how easy it can be. And for that, we use a tool called Canva. So if you don't have a graphic designer on staff, or you don't have graphic design skills, this is a tool that makes it really easy. And just to prove that this works, the graphic that I used to promote this webinar was created from a template in Canva. So I went in, I found a template, I just updated it with my information. You can do that too. Very, very easy to do. You download your template, your graphic, and you upload it into LinkedIn ads. And then you can just write your copy and then put your copy into ChatGPT and ask it for feedback. So I just want to show how easy it is. Don't overthink the creative part of it. Of all the ad campaigns that I ran last year, I can tell you confidently that the ones that performed best were the ads that were clear and direct and didn't over promote whatever we were promoting. So just keep it clear, put the title of the thing that you're promoting on there with a little bit of information about what to expect, and you can generate leads. And then one other tip here, make sure you just include 2 versions. So you want to be able to at least identify an opportunity to optimize your campaigns based on 2 variables. So at least upload 2 different options in your ads, the ad section of your campaign, and you can always just turn off the one that's not performing as well. But without that data of at least knowing one's performing better than the other, you could be leaving a lot of money on the table and wasting budget. Okay, next up, creating forms. So after you upload your ad creative, you're just going to need to create a form in LinkedIn. I already talked about how easy this is in the fact that when people open the form, it's automatically going to fill in their contact information for them. And they're going to just have to click submit. So it's going to automatically pull in their first name, last name, email address, company name into the form. So you just need to go in and set up the form. And the tip for this I just want to share is, again, just be very, very direct. Don't add a lot of information into this section that makes people have to think. You just want them to read the ad and then open the form and just see that they're just signing up for the thing that you're promoting. So keep it very, very simple so that all they have to do is open it, hit submit. So I had a couple just kind of models just to showcase how this can work for different size businesses. And I also wanted to show just a little bit of what should you expect in terms of costs if you were to run this for I think a decent, just kind of conservative goal for leads. So again, going back to unit economics of your campaigns, I think a good way to set a budget is to estimate $100 per sign up. And that's kind of on the good side. It can go higher than that, but it can also go lower, as I showed you in a case study earlier. But using $100 as a benchmark is a good way to just sort of figure out how to test out a campaign. So, let's say you can estimate that you can get a lead for $100 and you're only spending $2,000 on an ad campaign. You can get 20 webinar signups. And hopefully on the back end of that, let's say 15% of those people you start a conversation with and you can actually deliver a proposal to them. You are able to, because these people already identified that they have this problem that you're helping share information and guidance about, you can close one of those maybe. And I just want to kind of show how this works out then. So, on the low end, let's say you have an average retainer of $1,500, your lifetime value is $18,000. That gives you still a 3 times ROI on one campaign. But then a nice bonus on top of that, that you still have 17 other warm leads that are now in your flywheel that we kind of talked about, that you're warming up and you're able to convert later on. For a larger budget campaign, you're going to have longer sales cycles. You're going to need more personalized follow-up, but you also probably have more credibility and case studies to go along with high ticket items or services. So in this case, we're talking about a company that maybe has an average contract value of $150,000. And maybe in this case, because the people we're targeting are a little bit more hesitant to sign up for generic content, you really need to have a good topic that helps them solve bigger problems. But those people are going to be a little bit more expensive to reach. We're talking about C-suite at much larger, enterprise accounts. The average cost per sign up might be something around $500. So just to demonstrate that it still works, you just don't need the lowest cost per lead. We would need to up our advertising spend. But if we could still get, let's say, 30 people to sign up, and we can get some intro meetings with those people. So it might be a different sales cycle. It might not be as direct as trying to get a proposal out. That's going to be a 12-month sales cycle of, meeting and exploring an opportunity. But if we close one, the ROI is pretty obvious. So I just want to demonstrate the difference in a $100 lead and a $500 lead. It can still work very well. Webinars are still very effective. But sometimes people just shy away from webinars because they think, maybe a C-suite target audience might not work for them. It's just going to come out again in the unit economics of, your average cost. Okay, next up, I just want to quickly run through how to set this thing up. So you need webinar software. The criteria for me for a good webinar software is one that integrates with LinkedIn lead gen forms. And the tool to do that is Zapier. If you're not familiar with Zapier, it's a tool that helps you just integrate different platforms, very easy to use, but you're able to connect your LinkedIn lead gen form. So when someone fills out a form, it's going to take their contact information and then automatically register them for the webinar. It's kind of an important step. So you need a platform that allows you to do that. Not all platforms do. The one that we're using today and the one that I've found that works really well with that integration is called EasyWebinar. And then you need automated meeting reminders, and most platforms are going to have that capability built in. But one that's not always built in is the save the date calendar links. That's a very important step because we might get people to sign up for a webinar, but the next step is getting them to show up for the webinar, and having these features and tools in place that make it easy for people to be reminded about the event and to save the date to their calendar so it's blocked out is all going to help with the show rate of your webinar. So that's my criteria. Webinar Jam and Zoom webinars also work very effectively, but my recommendation in this case for getting started is EasyWebinar. As far as the setup process goes, all the different platforms are going to make it really easy for you to create a sign-up page. In our case, we just want to use LinkedIn Forms most of the time. We're promoting it via ad budget. It does have a landing page builder, so you can quickly create a landing page and send traffic there so that they can just fill out the form. But we want that LinkedIn Forms integration. And then connect it via Zapier. That's going to have your event reminders. You just set that up, and then we're going to write our follow-up emails, which I'm going to talk a little bit more about here. So after a webinar, we're going to assume that we've gone through this process. We picked a great topic. We went into LinkedIn. We created our ad campaign. We set it up. We promoted it to our ideal audience. People signed up for our webinar. The big day came. We had our webinar. Now what? Now's the time to turn all that investment in building trust and creating awareness into hopefully, some meaningful conversations and some meaningful business outcomes for us. So the way that we typically do this on a simple, sort of customer journey is to follow up with people after the webinar. So yeah, you can probably expect to hear from me after this a little bit. I don't think that that's a shocker by any means. But what do you say in your follow-up to get people to book appointments with you, and how frequently should you be following up? So one thing that I just like to highlight is personalizing the offer should be fairly easy and just makes a lot of sense and streamlines getting people to book an appointment with you. So, in this case, we'll just say, or in this example, we hosted a webinar for cash flow management. We were helping small business owners understand how to manage their cash flow and set up bookkeeping processes that would help them save money. That was the webinar that we promoted. So naturally, following up with an offer to help them set up their bookkeeping processes made a lot of sense and was able to get people to reply to the emails and book meetings. So just personalize the offer to the problem that you're creating a topic about. Seems pretty obvious, but it's very effective. And then set up some multi-channel follow-up. So in addition to emails, which we're going to talk about here, go connect with the people that signed up for your webinar. Go connect with them on LinkedIn and, start a conversation there. Start engaging with their posts a little bit. And then finally, of course, we have email follow-ups. So immediately after the event, 1 day after, 3 days after, 7 days after, 14 days after, 30 days after might be a good cadence for sharing additional information about the topic that you covered, going a little bit more in depth, but also just opening up the opportunity to meet with you to learn more about how you can help solve the problem is going to lead to a number of people from your webinar that want to take you up on that. So that's how booking appointments works, is just following up. And then in addition, going back to our flywheel model that we're really looking to build out here, it's how do you continue to stay top of mind with these people that showed interest in something that you're an expert in and that you help people solve, specific problems for. How do you stay top of mind? So an email newsletter is a great way. And I just like to highlight, it doesn't have to be a marketing email. It doesn't have to be graphic heavy and promotional. Just get into your email software, write an email once every other week, once a month, maybe, where you're sharing authentic stories, authentic perspectives about how you think about the problems that you specialize in. And this is going to keep you top of mind so that when the problem does arise and it becomes something that your leads or your prospects and people on your email list are looking for vendor support for, they'll contact you. You'll be one of the first people that they think of. So stick with 3 to 4 core topics on your email newsletter. Really make sure that you're just hitting on the same theme so that people can associate that with you and your brand. Run special offers. And then one of the most beneficial things of having an email newsletter is activating your future events. So particularly with, going back to the accounting firm example, they found that most of their new customers have attended multiple events that they've promoted. So someone might attend the first event, but the timing still isn't right to contact a vendor for services. But after another event later on, maybe now the timing's right. So activating that audience is what builds up the flywheel and keeps the momentum going. And it's why it really is a sustainable growth strategy that's going to continue to grow the more that you invest in it. So what's the customer journey here look like from start to finish? We just have our ads promoting our topics. That we have a LinkedIn lead gen form that makes it very easy for people to sign up for it. We have follow-up emails that are catering to the problems that we were discussing in the webinar. And then we're nurturing over time with email newsletters. This is about as simple as it gets. And you can add in, of course, other channels, but installing this as a foundational growth strategy will help you create awareness of your services, will build trust with prospects, and will tee up conversations for opportunities for you, as opposed to, always looking for a new strategy to be trying to get some quick win. If you just do this consistently, it will generate new business for you. And just kind of demonstrating again, back to the flywheel here, how this works. We're bringing in our cold audience by creating awareness. We're building up awareness of our services via the content in our webinar. And then we're nurturing with emails, follow-up emails, and then we're re-engaging with future events, all leading to more sales. And we've already talked about how this flywheel kind of grows over time. So put it in action. What can we do with this? Here's what I think would be a good exercise for you. Choose a topic that, use the problem waterfall system for generating a topic, create an ad campaign, start promoting it, choose a date, start promoting it, write your follow-up emails, have your webinar, and follow up with your leads, and just see how did the experience feel for you? Where are some opportunities for improvement? But don't wait and try and get it perfect. Just put these things in practice. I've shown you exactly how to do it, and how to make it really easy on yourself. Just go do it. And finally, if anybody wants some help with this, I'm totally happy to just provide some guidance or answer any questions.